Hiya. Thanks for taking the time to watch this little instruction video. It's quite important to us. With this wood that we've made these items from is 5,000 years old. It's taken a 2,500 mile journey to go and get it, and there's over 200 hours worth of our time in these, so we would appreciate you being as careful as possible with them, if that's alright. We've got quite fragile wood that can dent easy, and quite heavy metal bases, which the two together can sometimes cause problems. So the idea of this video is just to give you the simplest way of achieving a nice result with what we're trying to offer. So we've packaged them all up in sturdy packaging with foam linings. We've got the 5 Glorifiers themselves in those boxes, and the 2 square boxes have the heavy base plates in them, which is what supports the Glorifier at the base. So if we have a look in here, let's just come off like that. We've got foam lids to make sure everything stays in a nice place. So if we take that out, first of all, you've got a rubber mat which you can use to position the Glorifier. So if you choose where you're going to position it, and you drop it down wherever it ends up. These are quite heavy, so just watch yourself, don't hurt your back. Fingers down the side, and there is 2 in this box and 3 in this box, so 5 for the total. Bear in mind as well, there's a countersunk side to this, and also a non-countersunk side. Countersunk side goes down. So if we put it on the mat for now, this gives us the opportunity to see if we're in a flat place, which you can see there's a rock there. Now, in the other side of the box, you just put your fingers in these holes. These are also important, so don't lose these. We need those in a minute when we come to assemble it. You've got a selection of items in here. We'll come to the other ones for later on. However, for now, we just need the 2 packing options. You can either use, if you've got quite a big tolerance to make up, you can use some 2 pences. We've got some really big tolerances there. But if you just try and work out what you think it is, and we'll lift that up, put a couple in, try it. Yeah, so we've got rid of the rock, which is important because if someone stands on a corner, it could shake the Glorifier and knock the bottle off. So having that stable's important at this stage. Try and keep everything in the box, because if you lose it, it's a pain to replace. Right, so once you've got your base plate flat and there's no rock in it, we then need to think about getting a Glorifier out of the box. Again, I must stress it's important that this is a 2-person job, and done carefully with the use of the foam, which I'll show in a sec. So the crate itself is what we use to support the Glorifier, so that it allows us to get the base plate on safely. These foam pads, if you can see under there, there's a notch. They sit over the box nicely there, nice and sturdy. And if we open this, you can see in here, we can lift this out. Got that? Yeah. Right, so if you place it on the box, again, on the foam, with the end hanging over the end of the box, this will allow us to get the base plate attached to the bottom in a safe fashion. So if I can just show you this over here. Yeah, so underneath the Glorifier itself, there should be 3 normal bolts and a hex-headed chamfered bolt. This one holds the plate onto the bottom of the Glorifier, and these ones are for adjusting a swivel ball. Don't know what you call it. Yeah. So just to show you what the swivel, how the swivel works, we loosen these. We don't want to loosen these too much because it can cause problems. Yeah. So you can see that moves, which allows you to level up the plinth to give you a nice square top for the bottle to sit on. Now that's nice and loose. You want to just nip it back up again, just so it kind of holds it, just sturdy enough to not move while you're trying to put the plate on. And then we need to remove this. Again, please do. There's only one of these in the box, so please do remember not to lose it. Okay, so it's a two-person job again now. So right, let's start. Where are we going? So okay, we'll do this now. We'll go. Once you've removed the countersunk bolts from the bottom, you're then ready to apply the base plate. Again, please remember there's a countersunk head on the bolt which sits into the countersunk base plate, so it's important you get this plate on the right way around. Yeah. So if one person holds it lined up and the other person puts the bolt through, you can start it off by hand. Get it so far, and then along with the spanner in the box, there's an Allen key which should fit it. This allows you to get it nice and tight. Now this is important because if you don't get it tight, it can twist round. So nice and tight. There we go.
They're a bit loose, those bolts.
Yeah, aren't they? Tighten that back up. That better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've got the base plate fixed on with the countersunk bolt, two people, this person's got the heavy end, lifts it and puts it back on to the pad that you've levelled, well not levelled but taken the twist out of. Okay. Now, you also have in the box a snooker table level, which we pop on top like that, and we can now level this up using the ball joint.
It needs twisting, but we just have to slacken the bolts off as we twist it. Otherwise, we can undo the screw.
So in the shadow line at the bottom of the plinth, if you get down low, you can see the nuts which you can reach with the spanner. Bearing in mind that this is upside down, so everything's in reverse. So I've just loosened that, which
a little bit more then.
At this point, you can now once it's loose,
That's nice.
Once it's loose, you can twist the plinth to square it with the plate, along with leveling it as well. Once you've got it in the right place with the bubble correct at the top and square to the base plate, you can then tighten it up.
Yeah, that's good.
You can see why this is a two-person job now. Now you don't have to over tighten these bolts at the bottom because it doesn't need it. It can exert a lot of pressure onto the bolts. So once you've tightened it, that should be nice and sturdy, ready to take a bottle of whiskey. You can see why when you level the base plate up, it's important that you don't have any movement, because if anyone stands on this plate, it can wiggle the top and your bottle of whiskey will go flying. So that's the assembly. We'll now show you the reverse of that and how to take it down. It's a little bit simpler because you don't have to level it. So again, please do put everything back in the box because it's easier than losing it and us finding another one for you. Right, so if we tip this over, one person carries the top, I'll get hold of the bottom, back onto the crate with the foam. Again, please remember to use the foam because these are they will scratch it and it's quite delicate. Using the Allen key, we make sure that someone's got hold of the plate because it is heavy, and be aware that they need to be expecting the weight because it's got quite a lot of weight to it. Okay, and we loosen this off. It's best if you can get hold of it at the bottom rather than just the top, because it saves it slipping out and banging on the floor. Okay. Okay. Now, it's important when you've taken the plate off to put this back into the ball joint on the bottom so that it stays safe with it. You don't want to lose it. So again, you don't have to put it in tight or anything, just put it back in so it's not going to get lost anywhere. Allen key back in the box. Plate back in the box. Rubber mat and packers back in the box. If you can take your time to put them back in the bag, that would be much appreciated, because otherwise it just makes it a mess and it gets scattered everywhere. Now we know everything is back in the box, ready for the next person that's going to come and have to do this. Last remaining one, pop this back in the box, nice and safe. Okay, lid down, catches on, that's ready to go now. Final piece, don't lose these please, because they're important for this. If you pop those back in the box like that, keeps everything safe and sound. Last piece of foam to ensure the plates don't flap around. Lid down. Ready for the next event. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Okay, just another thing to bear in mind. When you're packing or unpacking these, this one's got 3 in it, and to protect the metal and the powder coating, we've done it so you have a sheet of foam, a rubber placement mat, a metal plate, a sheet of foam, a rubber mat, a metal placement mat, base plate. If you're putting them back, if you could just put them back in the same order, it saves the plates getting scratched and it saves any rubber getting lost, and it just helps things along a little bit. Pop them back. This particular box is pretty heavy as well, so just do watch your back. Those pads in. Now you know that's not going to rattle around or scratch anything inside.